Welcome to the Mike and JD Show YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. I want you to do me a big favor before you check out this clip. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to throw in a comment and make sure you're a subscriber to this channel. And then I want you to share this video with your friends. Help us defeat the algorithm. And then if you like this content and you appreciate this content, please head over to patreon.com/the Mike and JD Show and support the show. That is how we actually get funded to be able to do this. So we thank you very much for being here. And now enjoy the clip.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no rain from the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game, better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no rain from the track.
Becky Lynch. Now, she was on Ariel Helwani's show earlier this week, the MMA Hour, and told Ariel Helwani a bunch of stuff. And one of the things that she had told him whenever she was promoting her book is that her contract is expiring in 2 months. Now, of course, a lot of the AEW diehards already started making the graphic that Rebecca Quinn is all elite, and and they're already on fire for it. They're after it. They want this to happen. JD, what say you? Do you think so here, I'm gonna put this to the chat too. I want everybody involved in this. Does she actually end up hitting free agency? Right. So A, does she hit free agency? B, does she leave WWE? And C, does she go to AEW?
Me first?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Does she hit free? I'm going to say no. I'm saying that she is going to tempt the waters and say that she's interested and drive her price point up, which she should. That's smart. That's good business. Now, let's hypothetically say she did go into free agency. If she does go into free agency, there's only one place she's going to go, and that would be AEW. I don't think they should sign her if that were to happen.
JD, and I'm not trying to disparage anybody. I'm not trying to disparage. I don't want the Sasha crew to come after me.
Since when has that been a concern on this show?
Well, it's like, it's like saying with all due respect, like the next thing you say is probably gonna be pretty rude. So
respectfully.
Yeah. So with all due respect to the Sasha crew, to the Monet crew, and this is not her fault, by the way, but has she been a driver? I know she only been there for 3 weeks, but has she been like a significant driver of like business and television ratings and stuff? Maybe we'll find out in her first pay-per-view, but so far, would you say that she's like been like a needle mover?
Not in television ratings. Ratings have been not great, honestly.
No.
Since she came in. Now, granted, they got stuff going on. Like there's you're bad. Like last night, opening night baseball is going on, and like the NCAA tournament. So there's stuff, but I don't know. She sold some good tickets in Boston, and the next week they sold some tickets in Toronto. They did not sell a lot of tickets in Quebec, but it's fucking Quebec. Who cares? So
She clearly moved the needle in Boston, right? Edge and Christian moved the needle in Toronto. I'm gonna give them the credit for that one. I think that house was sold based on their feud, and then of course they go to Quebec City, and look, the numbers like technically were up over what they normally have been doing, like their average, but they were in such a big arena. It looked like death warmed over. It was pretty bad. But so what I'm saying is that it's been proven outside of CM Punk, no matter who Tony Khan brings in, it doesn't really do anything. Like the greatest thing that could ever happen to Tony Khan is for WWE to like start sucking really bad again. You know what I mean? But when they're just on fire right now, and when they're on fire, and when they're putting out some shows and giving you stuff that you've been wanting them to give you for a long time, like that's like your main thing, you're probably not even going to give number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 even an opportunity, because the number 1 company has so many hours of television going on. You're probably going to devote a lot of that time to them. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. Like, so say Becky Lynch leaves, right? And we talked about it on Sunday night on Overtime with the Francis Ngannou analogy, the TKO, way they do business. They let their world heavyweight champion just walk, and their business has only gone up, right? So say they do, and he hasn't done any business for boxing. Well, I'm gonna say he hasn't really done any business for boxing other than just getting a Saudi payday with the Fury fight, the Joshua fight, and we haven't seen him do anything with PFL yet because he just hasn't had a fight yet. But I assume that he's not going to be a big business driver for them either. I think the same thing applies here to a lot of the WWE talent. Like they'll probably just let them walk, and then they can go right into AEW, and AEW is never going to get their return on investment, and that's just the way it is.
No, and if you're Tony Khan, you don't care because it's a startup. Very rarely does a startup, even in year 5, make money back on its investment. That's just the way it is. But I don't think they need her, realistically speaking. Like this isn't Becky Lynch of 2015 or 2018, excuse me. And we're seeing that with Mercedes, and she has like a dedicated fan base, right? And she has people that are excited for her. I don't know, man. The only way AEW is going to go up is if they just start working on themselves. Like I really think last year they tried so hard to beat WWE, and it just turned a lot of fans off, and now they're kind of rediscovering themselves, and their hardcore base is excited again. But everyone who isn't is being served by WWE. And quite frankly, I think these are necessary growing pains. The only way you're going to really grow is by building your own fans, not worrying about siphoning off their fans. That's all it can be. Like you have to look in your own house and take care of your own stuff, water your own plants, mow your own grass, and then just let it go, let it breathe. And don't freak out that you're not keeping pace with them. The worst thing you can do is, well, one of the worst things that happened to them was WWE got so bad before they got good. Right? It truly was darkest before the dawn over there. And they're doing good, but wrestling is cyclical. Eventually they'll stop being as hot. And I don't know when. But I mean, like, maybe things would have been different if The Rock doesn't come back. But for a long time, they're going to be able to do those kind of things. So all Tony Khan can do is just take care of his own stuff, build his own stars, and just worry about himself. Like I wouldn't sign Becky Lynch.
Yeah. AEW needs to be worrying about AEW shit. Don't be focused on what WWE is doing, right? And I honestly, like, if I were AEW, I wouldn't even worry about competing with WWE at all, because that's like fighting an uphill battle against yourself. Like you're just not. I know he has, like, technically his family has more money than them, but you're getting into a battle, you're just not going to win. Just stay the course, keep cranking out great shows. That's what they're doing. Right. And then if free agents come available, like, don't feel like you have to get into a bidding war and overspend for them. And I know that's like, talent doesn't want me saying that. Talent wants you to get into bidding wars and overspend for them. But I don't feel like you need to get into this big competition with a lot of these free agents that are coming down the pike. Look, Drew McIntyre still hasn't signed. I'm sure he's going to want to talk to Tony Khan, even though he's basically prepping for like a feud with CM Punk later this year. Like, that deal's probably been verbally agreed to, but apparently it hasn't been signed yet. I think there's a rumor out there that Sheamus might be hitting the market too. If I'm Tony Khan, just like, you know what, man, I got a stacked roster. Let's just try to leverage these people and figure this out. And he's also got an aging roster. I'd start trying to build up some of their young core talent and get them ready to take over one day, because a lot of them just aren't yet. I think it's. Go ahead.
I would say I think that's what they're doing. I think you're seeing the push of Swerve Strickland. Right, they're trying to make him the guy. They're pushing Will Ospreay, trying to make him the guy. We're seeing a nice little competition between the two of them to see who is going to be the star of AEW going forward. They're both guys in their early 30s, and I think that's what you need right now. Like, we're seeing Hook get a little bit of a push finally. We're seeing them start to take a look at the younger guys. Now, granted, you need older guys, and I think having Adam Copeland as a veteran that you've been relying on a lot lately, who's been doing really good work, who again might not be a great draw on his own, but when the market leader is so dominant that people are loyal to the brand, it doesn't matter. And this is what WWE has crafted for years, and it's going to take more than 5 years to change narratives. Like, again, Tony Khan just got to make his fan base happy and understand that there's going to be bumps in the road, and not worry about being Eric Bischoff, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Don't worry about that. In fact, he's already outlasted Eric Bischoff, and I want to get into Eric Bischoff actually here in just a moment. But JD, did you hear this other quote that Becky Lynch stated on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani?
No. What did
she's got the TNA fans riled up.
Oh God, what did she say?
My goal was maybe I can get in.
Hold on.
And I was about to move over to America to do a personal training diploma, and in Orlando, And my goal was maybe I can get into TNA, because the way that they were treating women there was so much better than the way that they were treating women in WWE. So it's like I can make a splash there. But when I got old, and
So she says that, and sure enough, her contract is expiring in 2 months. So we got some of the TNA diehards, some of the folks that thought that maybe CM Punk might be coming to WWE or to TNA, that knew that they had actually made an offer to Will Ospreay, and that maybe at one point they were talking with Mercedes Moné. Guys, I love you. I think you're all fine people. For the most part, there's some of them that are not, but for the most part, you're very fine people. She ain't coming to TNA. so just get it out of your skulls right now. Like that's just something that's just literally never going to happen. What she said was accurate at the time, probably over, maybe 15 years ago when she was coming to America and getting her start. Like, Gail Kim and Awesome Kong and all these other, like they were absolutely treating their women's division 10 times better than what WWE was doing. But take a look at that women's division right now. There's 8 people in it. There's 8, right? Maybe 9 or 10, but it is dire straits right now. They got Jordan Grace, they got Masha Slamovich, and they got nothing after that. So guys, she is not coming. She's going to re-sign with WWE, and if she does not, she's very likely going to head over to AEW, and Rebecca Quinn will be all elite, and she'll be standing face-to-face with the CEO with about 815,000 fans watching on television, right?
And
Like that's what we're going to get. Like, and then she'll be happy with that, I'm sure. But she ain't coming to TNA, so stop it, guys. Stop it.
I'm sorry, TNA, when they fired, and again, I can be a pretty harsh critic on TNA. Yours comes from a place of love. Mine always comes from a place of what? TNA has decided they don't want to be big time, which I was told. Again, we talked about it in Brace for Impact and into this. I was saying I don't think they really want to be players. That was kind of my stance from the whole time we had our show. And by getting rid of Scott for spending too much money, they're telling you what they want to be. They want to be MLW.
But with a weekly show on a small cable channel. Like they're just happy being content for access. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that and Fight Network. And they really like their app. They're doing well they feel like they're doing well with their app. They're happy with their subscription numbers.
But here's the thing that's why Anthem bought them, was to be content on access. They didn't want, and again, we talked about, we used to joke about Gerard being big new distribution deal Gerard, and say there is no distribution deal coming. This is the distribution deal. This is what they want.
Yeah.
Right. This is like Anthem wants this to be what TNA is. So, I mean, like, you guys have to accept the fact that TNA just wants to be what they are. They don't want to be TNA of 2010, 2011, right? They almost died being that. Thank you, Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, Bischoff with another winner.
Yeah, he's got a string of hits. It's just what it is. She ain't coming to TNA.
No. And honestly, I just wanted to say that there was not that many people saying it, but it was like the people that were saying like the usual suspects.
The usual suspects, yeah. I'm sure I can pick a couple of them out.
Yeah. So yeah, that is not like a real serious conversation that's happening on the internet. It's just like a handful of people, and most other people are just like celebrating the fact that she spoke accurately about TNA a long time ago versus her current employer, right? So I think that's good.